Are you tired of those default Excel formats that just don't quite fit your needs? What if I told you that you could completely customize how your data looks in just few clicks? Stick around because in this video, I'll reveal the secrets behind Excel's powerful custom formats option that will take your spreadsheet game to the next level. Hey everyone, welcome back to Excel with Sati, where I make Excel easy and fun. I'm Sati, and today we are diving deep into one of the most powerful yet underused features in Excel custom formats. Whether you're dealing with dates, numbers, or text, custom formats give you the flexibility to display your data exactly how you want. So, if you're ready to unlock this secret weapon and make your spreadsheet stand out, let's get started. Before we jump into how to, let's talk about what a custom format actually is. In Excel, formatting is all about how your data looks, whether it's a currency, a date, or even a phone number. Custom formats let you go beyond the built in option and create a format that perfectly fits your needs. So, instead of just accepting Excel's default settings, you can tailor your data's appearance to match your specific requirements. So, why should you care about custom formats? Well, they can save you tons of time, especially when you are working with large data sets. Custom formats allow you to display your data in a more readable or aesthetic pleasing way without altering the actual data. Imagine having thousands of cells and being able to format them in seconds. Sounds pretty good, right? Plus, it helps in making your report look professional and easy to interpret. Now, let's dive into basics of how custom formats work. A custom format is made up of four sections separated by semicolons: positive number, negative number, zero, and text. For example, 0.00 would format your number to always show two decimal places, but you can get a lot more creative. I'll show you a few examples so you can see how this works in a real life. In this spreadsheet, you will see few numbers on column D, and the same numbers have been formatted into a currency format. And for our reference, I have the formats on column C to understand how we could convert a normal number format into a currency format. Let's copy this format and then click on the cell D4. You could choose Ctrl 1 or right click Format Cells. On the category, choose Custom, and instead of General, we're gonna paste the format we just copied. If you notice, the sample is the same as what you see in column B4 or cell B4. Click OK, and your format is changed to what we saw in B4. Similarly, we are going to do the change to column D5. If you notice, the format is pretty much the same except there is an asterisk included in the format. The asterisk plays a vital role in your formatting. If you notice, the dollar symbol is not aligned towards the left. Instead, it is aligned towards the numbers. If you want to show the dollar symbol to be aligned on the left, then we introduce the asterisk symbol. Let's do this. Copy, again, Ctrl 1, choose custom, replace the type with what we just copied. Click OK, and you will see the change. If you want to have more clarity, you could expand the column width to see that the dollar value remains towards the left and it doesn't move along with the numbers. Alright, now the third variation. We have the numbers, however, if it has to be shown in a short form, like 123.46 million, M stands for million here. If we want to show this, then let's use this formatting type. I'm going to copy it, and you select the cell, press Ctrl 1, click on custom, and then the type, replace it with the text that we copied. Now if you notice, you could see that the format is changed, and you could also increase or decrease the decimal just by clicking on the home button and the option to increase and decrease the decimal. So I could decrease it or I could increase it based on our requirement. Now let's talk about dates. These are the dates which are pretty normal. However, there could be scenarios where you just want to see only the month or the date or the day. So let's go one by one to see how we could change them. I'm going to copy this format, which is DD M 3 times and Y 2 times. Press Ctrl 1, choose custom, and change the type to DD MMM and YY. If you notice, I have used D 2 times. If you delete one D there, you could see the date format will be 1 Jan 24. If you use D 2 times, it will be 01 Jan 24. So it is up to you to choose. You want to see 01 or just 1 there. Click OK, and you will see the format. Similarly, we are going to change this format into January 24. I'm going to copy this, again select Ctrl 1, custom, and I'm going to replace the type. Yes, you see the change, and I'm going to do the same here. However, this time I'm going to show the name of the week. Let's press Ctrl 1. I'm going to click custom and then type. Alright. This is not case sensitive. You could use capital letters or small letters, but the result will be a proper format. Now let's change this into a month. Custom, change it to month by typing M. So if you type M once, it will show the month number. If you type 2 times, it will show 01. It is same as what we saw for the date. If we type 3 times, it will be the short form of the month. If we type 4 times, it will be the full form of the month. Click OK, and then we're gonna do one last time for bringing the date format. So I'm gonna say DD. Click OK, and use it. If you notice, for all these cells, they have a basic format, and you could see it on the formula bar. However, the custom formula is what is visible. Now let's look at converting numbers into phone numbers. This is a normal number. We are going to use this format to convert it into a phone number which is more relevant to a US phone number. So I'm going to select the format, select L4, Ctrl 1, choose custom, change the type, and paste the format that we just copied. Click OK and you could see the change. Similarly, if you want to change a phone number format for India, you could do the same, and I'm going to copy it from K5, go to L5, format cells, custom, and replace general with the format that we copied. So there is 5 zeros, a space, and then 5 zeros. If you click on OK, you will see that change. Normally, you will see if it is a telephone number, you will have a country code in the prefix. So if you want to add that, you could also do it by just using this +91 and a 0. Since that it's an Indian number, for our example, I'm just using +91. So you could just click on Ctrl+1, custom, replace this general with the format that we copied. And if you notice, I would not have used 0 10 times. Rather, I would have used just once, since I am not introducing any special characters like brackets or any space between the numbers. So in that scenario, we don't have to specify 10 times or even more than once. If you click OK, and you will see the change there. Now let's move on to the next, converting a number into a text format. If you look at, this is a normal number, but if you want to convert it to a text format, let's use the same technique that we did. Copy the format from O4, select P4, Ctrl+1, custom, and replace general with the format that we just selected. So here we have EE_ID and a colon. This is a text that we want to introduce, and since it is a text, we are using within quotations, and we are using a 0 because there is no format that we are defining after the semicolon. If you click OK, you will see the change appearing. So every time you enter a number, you will have EE_ID colon by default appearing. Similarly, if you want to change this 12.3 into 12.3 million, you could very well do it. Let's copy the same, and then P5, Ctrl+1, custom, replace general with the format that we copied. So even here, if you notice, the text that we are introducing, we are using a quotation, double quotation, to specify that it is a text. And since that I want to see them with the decimal, I have 0.0 mentioned. I could also say just 0. Yes. Now, let's say every time someone opens an Excel and you want to greet them with their name, so you could get their name using a macro or a formula, and you could also use a custom format to greet them. Let's copy this format and then select P6, go to custom, and then change the type. If you notice here, this is a little different from what we saw earlier. We are not using a 0 here because the name Sati is already a text. It is not a numerical type. So to specify that it is a text, we are using an @ symbol. So we introduce whatever greeting that we want to have within the quotations, and then add an @ symbol to say the @ symbol represents a text and click OK. So you will see the change coming in. I hope this was very interesting for you. Let's move on to few tips and tricks that we could do with the custom formats. Alright, let's see how could we hide the value in a cell using custom formats. Let's see B4, B5 and B6. These three cells have data and you could see them on the formula bar. And you could select them, change the font color, or you could change the cell color. Still, the value or the text will not be visible. Let's see how we can do this. We could do this by introducing semicolon 3 times. Select the cells, Control 1, Custom, remove General, and then replace it with semicolon 3 times. The moment you enter 3 times, you will see the sample is gone. Click OK, and you will not be able to see any of the values or text. Now let's go to the conditional formatting. This might help to indicate if a student has passed an exam or failed or did not appear for the exam. This could also help to kind of understand if an employee is on leave or if an employee is present or if an employee is on a sick leave or a casual leave. Let's do this. I would copy this format and let's select all the three. Control 1, Custom, paste. Let's see what is this type is telling us. The first bracket, which is the square bracket, I have blue within the square bracket to specify that my output has to be in a blue font. And the second bracket, the square bracket, says that the value has to be greater than or equal to 80. So that is the condition that we are using. And the third parameter is nothing but what should we specify. Should we say pass or present, or should be a character P. So this specifies the condition of what needs to be there on the cell when a particular condition is met. And we introduce a semicolon to say the first condition or the first section is for the positive number and the second section is for the negative number. In this case, we do not have a negative number. However, this assumes that the first condition doesn't satisfy, then it moves on to the second condition. So the second condition says within the square bracket red, which means the second condition should have the font in red, and it also has a condition to say if the value is greater than 1, then it has to be with the text failed. And you could definitely have this question, why shouldn't we say it should be greater than 1? Because we have the third section for 0, and there is a limitation here. You cannot use 3 conditions, you could use only 2 conditions here. That is a primary reason why you would see there is no condition here but a text. So the second condition says the text has to be in red font and that has to show a fail as a text. However, that will happen only when the value is greater than 1 and less than 80. And the last condition, So if the condition 1 and 2 doesn't satisfy, then we will have the third condition, which is a 0. Let's click OK, and you will see that if you select the pass, you will see the formula bar gives you a number, the actual number. However, the cell displays the output from the custom format. Now let's look at furthermore on the number formatting. We discussed about the date format and the month format, saying how could we use a 01 to show a date or a month. Similarly, we could do that for a number. Let's press Ctrl 1, custom format, remove general, and say 0 two times. If we say 0 two times, you will see the sample as 03. You could also say 3 times, then it should be 003. You could just say 0, which means it will show just the number. If it is a 2-digit number, it will show 2 digits. If it is a 3-digit number, it will show a 3-digit. So for our example, we are using 0 two times to show 03. Similarly, you could also see everywhere when you note down a bullet point, you always start with a number and a bracket or a number with a dot. That might be little tedious for you to do it every time. So let's use the conditional formatting or custom formats to get this done. Ctrl 1, custom, and then you could say 00 in case you want to see 2 digits, and you could use a bracket or you could use a dot, however you want to see it. I'm going to use a bracket here to see 06 and a bracket. Now let's see how we could color the font just by using custom formats. Ctrl 1, custom, and then general, open a square bracket and specify the color that you want to, close the bracket and use the number format to display the number. In this case, you could just say 00 or you could just say 0 one time. Click OK and you will see them in blue color. Let's do it for a negative number. Again, Ctrl 1, custom, remove the general. I'm going to say open bracket, blue, 0, semicolon, red, close the bracket, and then a 0. If you notice, the 0 will display 33 even though it is a 2-digit number. And if you want to have this negative 33 to be within brackets, you could just introduce a bracket here and you will see the change. Now comes the third part, which is nothing but making zeros as blank or a hyphen. Let's copy this and go to L8, Ctrl 1, custom, change this general and paste the format. This is the same that we used earlier. The positive number will be in blue, the negative number will be in red, and 0 will be a hyphen. You could see them in the sample. If you click OK, you will see a hyphen. However, if you think you don't need a hyphen, you can just remove the hyphen and then leave it blank. Click OK and you will see a blank there. But if you change the number, it will change it to a positive number with blue color, a negative number with a red color, and 0 will be a blank. Most of us will have this challenge of displaying a percentage with 0. For example, let's convert this into a percentage. If it is, let's say, 45 percentage looks good, or negative 90 percentage also looks good. However, if it is a 0, then 0 percentage doesn't look good. For those cases where you have a 0 percentage, you could change it to a blank or a hyphen, like what we did for the previous format. I'm going to copy this, go here, Control 1, custom, change it. So if it is a positive number, it will be 0 percentage. If it is a negative number, it is 0 percentage within the brackets. There is no color added. And if it is a 0%, it will show just an hyphen. Alright. So now let's get little interesting. Now let's get even more interesting. If you see, there is an upward triangle indicating there is a growth or an increase. And here if you see, there is a downward thumbs down to say it is a no or a decline or a negative growth. Let's see how we could do this. Let's press Ctrl 1, custom, and then open bracket. We are going to have a green color here, and then we are going to have the number, and we need to have a triangle there. So you could introduce the smiley here by pressing the Windows key and the full stop. All right. There you have it. Click close, then click OK. So you would see that triangle coming in, and even that triangle is being colored green. Now let's copy this, and I'm going to paste it over here, custom, and then change the type. So this is pretty much the same. Instead of a triangle, I have used a thumbs up and a thumbs down for a positive and a negative number. Click OK, and you could check that. When I say 15, it's going to give me a positive thumbs up, and when I say negative 15, it's going to give me a thumbs down. Similarly, we could do that for a 0 as well. I'm just copying it, and then I'm going to apply that formatting here using the custom format, and then click OK. Since this is an yellow, it may not be visible. Let me change the cell color. Yes. Alright, let's move on to a bonus trick. I've used this trick in my previous video to show how could you use an Excel to propose to someone you love. Yes. Let's have a text here, and any text that is being typed on a cell can be changed into a specific text that we want to display. I'm going to copy this, select D17, Ctrl 1, custom, and then change general to this format. So what we have here is three semicolons, which says there is no positive number condition or a negative number condition or a zero condition. There is only a condition for a text. Here in this case, we do not have a condition. Instead, we have a specific or a custom text that we want to display. And that text is nothing but Excel with SATI. And if you introduce an at symbol, then it might bring in the text that is being typed there, but we are not going to do that. Click OK, and there you have it. So any text that is being typed here, you will get to see Excel with SATI. However, if there is a number, you will not see anything. If it is a negative number, still you will not see anything. But if it is a text, you will see Excel with SATI. Custom formats are powerful, but they can be tricky if you are not careful. One common mistake is using the wrong symbol. Remember that hash and zero have differently used. Also, be mindful of your semicolons. Forgetting them can mess up the whole format. Here in this example, if you see, the numbers are the same. Okay, let's change it. Let's bring in the same numbers here. The numbers are the same, but using a hash and a zero shows a lot of difference. Let's choose a hash here, custom, change it to hash 3 times comma 3 times hash. Click OK. You will see just 54,321. However, if you use a 0 3 times comma 3 times 0, click OK, you will see a 0 prior to 54, which indicates that the 0 is mandate for that format. Similarly, let's use this format, which is something that we used it here, and I'm gonna deliberately forget adding a semicolon between pass and fail. If you click OK, this is how the result might look. Finally, did you know that you can save your custom formats for future use? Once you create a format, Excel remembers it in the custom section, so you can easily apply it to other cells or even other workbooks. This is a huge time saver if you often use the same formats. And there you have it. Everything you need to know to start using Excel's custom formats like a pro. By mastering this feature, you will be able to make your data not just more readable but also visually appealing, all without changing the actual values. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Excel with Sati for more Excel tips, and drop a comment below if you have any questions or requests for future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.